Hi, I'm Dennis Phillips, and welcome to Everyday Reloading and Shooting. All right, welcome back. Once again, we're at the Georgia Gun Club's 100-yard indoor rifle range, and today I'm shooting my Tikka T3X chambered in Remington 223, and we'll be continuing the test between the 73 grain ELD match and the 73 grain Berger boat tail target bullets, but this time I'll be shooting 22.5 grains of Varget powder. I'll also be measuring the velocity on these with my Garmin Xero C1 Pro chronograph, so we'll see how these compare. I'll be shooting two 20-shot groups of each, and I'll start with a 5-shot fouling group with the 73 grain ELD match. As always, you're welcome to enjoy the music while I fast forward through my shooting, or you can skip forward to the results that follow. Shooting at 100 yards. All right, let's bring them in and see how we did. All right, so right off the bat, I can see that the Berger boat tail has a rounder group, probably a tighter extreme spread from there to there versus from there to there. Although with 20 shots, you're going to have to presume, if you can only count a certain number on the edge, you're going to have to assume that the rest of the 20 went through that hole in the center, and that applies to each of these. So we'll measure what we can from the edge, and then we'll just randomly place the rest of those shots somewhere inside of that eaten out area. All right, so we will take these home, measure them with the Hornady ballistics app, and get back to you with the results. Stay tuned. Not the last time out, but the time before, I had problems with head spacing where I had a lot of split cases and failures to fire. I didn't have any split cases or failure to fire this time out, but I did have 2 rounds where you see the shiny ring where it looks like the case is beginning to split. I believe these 2 got stretched the last time we were shooting when we had head spacing problems, but the rest of the brass seems to be okay. All right, so I'm back at the range, and again, I'm comparing the 73 grain ELD match and the 73 grain Berger boat tail target bullet. But today I'm using Varget powder. A load that has worked well for me in the past is 22.5 grains of powder. So that's what we're going with for both of these bullets today. And I'm using the Hornady ballistics app to measure these. And so I'll show you a close-up of each of these targets along with a screenshot from that Hornady ballistics app to compare, because that's how we're measuring these. So just taking a quick look back, the last time out, the 73 grain ELD match, and this was after we had solved problems with head spacing. The 73 grain ELD match shot an extreme spread of 1.65, and the Berger boat tail target was 1.75. Today, that extreme spread was 1.38 on the 73 ELD and 1.05 on the Berger boat tail. So a little bit better today. No issues with head spacing. So looking at the 73 grain ELD match first, again, there was an extreme spread of 1.38 inches, but this time, because we had a real nice cluster of shots right here, we had a mean radius of 0.30, which is actually pretty good because a radius is half of a circle. So if you double that, that means on 20 shots, you have an average group size of 0.6 inches. You multiply the width times the height, and we have an area of 0.94 inches. And the average point of impact is represented by the red cross here on the target. And we were shooting 0.20 inches to the left of center and 0.63 inches above the center of the target. And so we deliberately set the scope to shoot a little bit high so as not to destroy the point of aim. Now, minus that flyer, we've got a group size of 1.09. If you look at the 73 grain Berger boat tail target bullet, as far as that average center of impact, that average point of impact, it's shooting 0.13 to the left and 0.60 high, so almost identical in terms of their point of impact. We had an extreme spread with the Berger boat tail of 1.05. The mean radius was higher at 0.34 because this is a nice round group, but it's a larger group, meaning that these shots are more spread out. Now, I shot 20 rounds at each target, but you can't see 20 rounds impacted on the target because that center is eaten out of that target by the other remaining shots. So I marked the shots that I could actually see and then just randomly put the shots that you can't see inside that part that was eaten out. So here we've got 20 shots, a mean radius of 0.34 inches, an average group size of 0.68, and the area was exactly 1 inch square. And as to the velocity, it had a little bit higher velocity. This bullet seems to cut through the air a little bit better than the ELD match. We had a velocity of 25.59 with an extreme spread of 83.5 and a standard deviation of 24.7. The ELD match, the velocity was a little bit more consistent. I think that ballistic tip on the ELD match gives it an edge. Even though the velocity was lower at 25.05, it had an extreme spread of 69.7 and a standard deviation of 21.5. So once again, I'm going to give this to the 73 grain ELD match bullet, and it does seem to perform better with this Varget powder. The next time out, we're going to compare these two loads with an accurate 25-20. So we will see how that performs to see if this group gets any tighter. And once we've settled on a powder, then we'll go back and experiment some with seating depth. All right, so these are my results. I hope you find this information helpful. If you have any thoughts, ideas, questions, suggestions, please leave those in the comments below. I try to interact with everybody that comments. I hope you will also like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.